Okay, judges, please join me in welcoming the Enactus team from Dalhousie University. Please open their report from the link in your email, which we also just shared in the chat, and scroll to their green sheet in your judge handbook. Judges, you will now have 3 minutes to review the report. Judges, please turn your attention to the screen as we play the video.
Let me start by asking you a question. How many Canadians do you believe are financially literate? The results from this survey might shock you.
78% of Canadians, according to the survey, said they were financially savvy. Nearly 60% failed, and those that passed got maybe a passing grade, a C or a D. Millennials thought they were the most financially savvy, but they did the worst.
They got to teach, I think, financial literacy in school. It's not really getting taught, and that's why many Canadians get a failing grade.
Financial literacy is a major deficiency in our society. According to the survey done in 2017, 57% of Canadians failed the test on basic financial literacy. Millennials ranked the lowest, followed by Generation X and baby boomers. And this problem doesn't just exist in Canada, but all around the world. This is an issue that needs to be addressed at the root of the problem. And that change starts here.
Hello, we are Enactus Dalhousie, and this is our approach to improving financial literacy. We want to address the issue where it begins. The problem? While education is more available than it has ever been, our educational institutions focus on scholastic and professional training, while often overlooking money and finance. Additionally, kids are not encouraged to learn basic financial principles at a young age, and we want to change that.
Research shows that children learn more through active-based learning rather than lecture-based learning. We wanted to find a way to teach financial literacy in a way that simply wasn't boring. That's why we created Cash Grab.
Cash Grab is a video game that teaches basic financial literacy to children in a fun and engaging way. This project began a year ago when we partnered with 3 students who had created a video game prototype that could be used to teach basic financial principles.
The game interface is the player navigating through stages while collecting coins for work. At the end of each stage, the player can make strategic financial decisions that could either help or impede their ability to make more money. Along with upgrades, the player can also use credit cards, take on loans, and even trade stocks to improve their income. Our main objective is for children to learn wise behavioral habits. We want to create situations that promote behavioral changes and forces the player to use strategies that are applicable to real-life situations. For example, one of our modules focuses on the need versus the want. Players can choose to rent items that have temporal benefits or to save up for things such as school that benefit the long run.
Based on the feedback we received last year and through our continuous testing, we implemented changes to improve the user experience. Since then, we have added new features such as modularization of financial literacy concepts. We included graphs so players can analyze their game results. We installed a leaderboard so players can view their progress. We improved the user interface, and we created a tutorial for first-time players.
Just over a week ago, on February 23rd, we officially launched our smartphone app on the Apple Store and Google Play. Our game is also made available on PC or Mac. To kickstart the launch of our app, we decided to do a giveaway on our Instagram and Facebook page. We were thrilled by the feedback we received from kids and parents, and in just a week, we had already reached over 100 downloads.
Our plan last year was to partner with schools to bring our game into the classroom in tandem with interactive workshops. However, things quickly changed when COVID-19 began, and we had to look for creative ways to measure and stretch our impact. Although we were unable to enter schools, we partnered with Hudson Burke, an employee of an after-school program for an elementary school, who was thrilled to use our game to engage with her kids, ranging from ages 5 to 12.
In just the past week, we were able to collectively impact over 30 kids who demonstrated positive learning outcomes. Here are some of the responses we received. This year, we were also able to stay well within our budget. From the funding received from last year, we spent just under $300 in game development, publication, and marketing. Now, this allows us to optimize our finances and budget for future events.
To maximize our impact, we are maximizing our accessibility and minimizing distractions. Therefore, our app is free to download and contains no in-app advertisements. Currently, our only stream of revenue is by donations through our webpage.
However, we hope to partner with schools, businesses, and sponsors to continue growing the impact we've seen. We are Enactus Dalhousie, and we would love for you to take part in our journey. So go ahead, take out your phone, download the app, and join us in shaping the future generation.
It is now time for the question and answer period. Judges, please submit your questions through the chat function at the bottom of your screen. Click on chat and use the drop-down to ensure you send your questions directly to me, moderator Amy Kenyon. And while the questions start coming in, I'm going to have each student say their school name to make sure the audio is working properly.
Dalhousie University.
Dalhousie University.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, I'm going to ask the first question and I will start the timer. First question, how will you evaluate your success?
Yeah, so we really wanted to take a more qualitative approach as opposed to a quantitative approach to success. So what that means with such a young audience is kids being stimulated to learn about skills such as budgeting, such as how to use credit cards, even stocks and things like that, and get their minds really primed into learning more about financial literacy. So even the basic concepts, even them being introduced into something is a measure of our success. Right now, we're working on a survey to actually measure that through the app so that we can actually calculate, how much progress has each student learned as they've kind of just progressed throughout the game. So really our approach to measuring success is a more qualitative as opposed to just seeing our numbers go up.
Okay, great. Next question comes from Dean. Since your app went live, do you have any current metrics in terms of downloads, usage, etc.?
You can go ahead.
When we first launched the app, we had around 100 downloads, as you can see, and now it's been extended, and we have 168 downloads. We've got it published on the web. We've got it published on iOS and Android, and our main demographic is the ages of 8 to 12. Although people who are a little older and a little younger also have been downloading this application, and it's been received really well. And we don't really have many negative reviews or any negative reviews so far.
Great. And next question comes from Natalie. How often are you receiving donations to keep the app free and ad-free? How much have you raised through donations?
Currently, we have not raised much through donations, but if Akila wants to add something, go ahead. I keep interrupting.
Yeah. So right now, our main stream of revenue is through Enactus, receiving prize money. We won $1,000 from last year. But we hope to continue to monetize it, not specifically through ad revenues, but as we continue to develop the app, we want to implement in schools, and perhaps through a subscription service, we can allow schools to actually help us fund. We're also partnering with a few other, or hoping to partner with a few other organizations such as the YMCA, so that they can use our program as kind of like an activity for the kids, and then hopefully receive funding through that.
Great. Next question comes from Anne. Do you see a limitation in the fact that many children do not have access to smartphones or iPads? In many cases, these children require even more help in financial literacy.
This is why one of our future goals includes like the library program that Phil just mentioned. So if we partner with the public libraries, as we know, people who don't have access to smartphones often go to libraries to access the internet. And this is where the future of cash grab really, really shines through.
Amazing. Adam asks, can you expand on how you plan to build out your revenue stream to continue further development?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, partnership with schools.
Sorry, your time has expired. Judges, please help me in congratulating Dalhousie University. Judges will have a couple of minutes as we bring in the next team, so please use this time to complete your green sheet and we'll start momentarily. Students, you may now leave the meeting. Judges, please join me in welcoming the Enactus team from George Brown College. Please open their report from the link in your email, which we also just showed in the chat, and scroll to their green sheet in your judge handbook. Judges, you will now have 3 minutes to review the report. Judges, please turn your attention to the screen as we play the video.
It isn't uncommon for a young person to make a wrong decision that can become extremely costly. Without adequate financial knowledge, youth often lack confidence in managing their money and feel insecure about their future. As of today, 41% of young Canadians under 34 have stated that they feel apprehensive about managing their finances during the pandemic, and 45% would increase their debt if government support ends for COVID-19. It is more important than ever that students of today are equipped with financial knowledge. Introducing Tenacity, a project which strives to empower youth through practical financial education through our several online workshops that focus on 3 major areas of goal setting, money management, and debt management. All areas have a purpose to help youth gain valuable skills to overcome the anxiety they are facing with managing their money. Goal setting is essential for us to take the first step into becoming financially secure. In working with Student Life of George Brown, we provided saving and budgeting workshops to guide students in creating their goals and develop long-term financial vision. This is Marvin, a recent high school graduate, now attending George Brown. He is driven to understand how money works in Canada and would love to share his experience from our workshops.
Hi, I am Marvin, and I joined the Tenacity workshop as I am always interested into finance. This series of workshop of Tenacity has a good impact to myself, and it had taught me how to budget and allocate my money in most efficient way. And I can clearly say that my credit score has been increasing monthly as I learn on how to properly build my credit score.
We are delighted to announce that Marvin has joined Enactus and become a presenter that is now empowering other youths with financial literacy. Along with goal setting, budgeting is also crucial for controlling our debt and saving. Thus, in our money management session, we explained best practices and showed students budget creation while using an online app. For our last module, we understand that student debt is rising and COVID is exacerbating the problem. To solve this, we present students with debt controlling strategies and a free calculator that allows them to be on top of their financial commitment. From our incredible success, next year our members will have the chance of being hired by Student Life, who is also connecting us to the Canadian Foundation for Economic Education, where the project will further present financial workshops to George Brown students. By directly impacting 37 students, 94% have stated that they want to learn more about financial literacy after our workshop. 77% strongly agree that our workshop has helped them to learn methods for building their credit score and best practices for using a credit card. And 55% of students stated that the activities in our workshop were engaging, and many felt informed about what they can do to best manage their money. But we didn't stop here. In 2020, research has found that nearly 600,000 people below the age of 25 in Ontario have applied for the Canada Emergency Response Benefit, while 800,000 students have applied to the Canada Emergency Student Benefit for COVID-19. Both are what we consider as wonderful programs, but will inevitably make our tax season this year more complex than ever. As a result, Tenacity has partnered with George Brown Income Tax Clinic, where both community projects have worked together and already helped students reclaim over $38,000 in tax returns. At Tenacity, enabling students for success by providing quality financial education is what we believe in. All students should be free to feel financially secure for their future. And at Enactus George Brown, we believe in making financial literacy a top priority. Thank you.
It is now time for the question and answer period. Judges, please submit your questions through the chat function at the bottom of your screen. Click on chat and use the drop-down to ensure you send your questions directly to me, moderator Amy Kenyon. And while the questions start coming in, I'm going to have each student say their school name to make sure their audio is working properly. Annie, do you want to start us off?
George Brown College.
Thanks. Sandra?
George Brown College.
And great. And Hongnam?
George Brown College.
Perfect. Thank you. So I'm going to start asking the questions. I'll start the timer at the end of the first question. How are you able to earn revenue through Tenacity?
Okay, I will take this question. Thank you. In terms of earning revenue in Tenacity, currently we're actually working to create a type of strategy so that we can actually cover the cost of our project. So right now we actually have a partnership with Student Life of George Brown, and through for next year, we have the chance for our members to be hired and pay as presenter for financial literacy. And as well, we're looking forward into charging maybe a low fees for our workshop from $5 to $10.
Fantastic. Next question comes from Adam. How do you plan to market and or drive students towards your workshop offerings? How will you build on your success?
So I will take this question as well. Thank you so much. So in terms of marketing, we really work towards in terms of creating flyers and poster, and as well using social medias such as Facebook or Instagram. And of course, we also really look towards into working with different departments of George Brown communities to advertise our workshops.
Great. The next question comes from Azzy. The 39 people that were educated, what was the range of the timing? Was it over 1 year, 3 months? Question.
So this was over an 8-month period, and we conducted 14 workshops for this.
Okay, perfect. Just waiting for some more questions to come through from the judges. As he asked a follow-up question, what is your plan for the future?
So I will take this question. Thank you so much. In terms of the plan for the future, currently for this year, we have really helped students with their tax filing. However, for the next year, we're really looking to teach them how to actually file their taxes so they can take charge of their actual finance. And of course, we also look into branching off into other underserved demographics, such as women's shelters or working with people with disabilities.
Fantastic. Okay, question just in from Dean. You mentioned COVID-19 adding to the complexities of your business plan. What, if anything, did you change?
So for this year in Tenacity, we had to go from in-person workshops to online workshops. And what we did was we included different games to enhance their learning, to make it more exciting for them to enjoy the program.
Fantastic. Just waiting to see if there's another question from a judge here. Your time has expired. Judges, please join me in congratulating George Brown College. Judges, we have a couple of minutes as we bring in the next team, so please use this time to complete your green sheet and we'll get started momentarily. Students, you may now leave the meeting. Please join me in welcoming the Enactus team from St. Mary's University. Please open their report from the link in your email, which we also just shared in the chat, and scroll to their green sheet in your judge handbook. Judges, you will now have 3 minutes to review the report. Judges, please turn your attention to the screen as we play the video.
How do I make a budget I can stick to?
How do I build my credit score?
How do I file my taxes?
These are questions youth have been asking for decades, but our questions often go unanswered. Financial literacy is a core skill in today's society, yet the education required to support it is often outdated or inadequate.
Since 2008, Enactus St. Mary's has been empowering Nova Scotians. The Options Youth Program provides youth between the ages of 15 and 30 with financial and professional knowledge and the skills needed to transition into a meaningful long-term employment.
Over the past 13 years, our internationally recognized program has impacted 186 participants through its in-person workshops, improving their employability, academic, and overall life skills.
But how do we reach more youth within Halifax and throughout Nova Scotia? In 2018, we recognized that in order to sustainably spread our program to serve more youth, we needed a better way to reach them. So we started to envision that if we could take the training virtual, we could help youth beyond Nova Scotia and even around the world. That sparked an idea that we took to RBC Future Launch, which awarded us $8,000 to build out the initial iteration. And then, seeing such potential, we went to Service Canada with a full proposal to continuously develop and test our new platform. In April 2019, Service Canada awarded us with $786,000 over 3 years to pilot our platform with 50 youth across Nova Scotia.
With the help of our community partners like the YMCA, RBC, and the St. Mary's University Entrepreneurship Center, we have created Options Online, an online learning platform dedicated to helping youth learn essential life skills. Let's look deeper into the Options Online platform.
Our customized, milestone-based platform offers flexible learning, allowing youth to learn anywhere at any time. Using gamified features, participants earn points as they complete milestones to compete with their friends and other learners.
The platform is designed to be mobile-friendly and applies accessible features such as closed captioning, as well as resizable and readable fonts that allow learning to be available for everyone.
In order to cater to participants' unique learning styles, we incorporate micro-learning principles in our approach, allowing us to divide tricky topics into easily digestible lessons. The move to take options online couldn't have come at a better time. In the midst of a pandemic, despite many youth engagements being put on pause, we have successfully graduated 10 youth through the Options Online platform.
We supported these aspiring minds through 5 milestones, ranging from financial literacy to personal and professional development skills. Our financial literacy milestone included key money management skills, such as learning how to manage credit, opening a savings account, and building realistic budgets. There are over 500 lessons currently available on the platform, all vetted by MBA graduates, and more are being added all the time. Recognizing the importance of live training, we include Zoom training sessions where youth can put their skills into practice, ask questions, share experiences, and have a laugh.
To become financially independent, we learn you have to make a budget to monitor your progress in your savings, invest in yourself first, and cut your losses very quickly. I want to add that learning with Options Online and learning about financial literacy gave me the confidence to pursue my own business venture and apply for school this fall at NSCC's culinary courses to hopefully buy a food truck and start my dream of becoming a chef one day.
After completing our first successful cohort, we learned more about how youth learn online. Together with our financial and advisory support team, we will continue to enhance our platform with more interactive features to further enrich their virtual learning experience. Our next cohort in May will have double the participants.
By tackling 6 of the 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, Enactus St. Mary's aims to expand Options Online into a sustainable social enterprise that will continue to create positive and sustainable impact for the well-being of society. Our goal is to scale Options Online across Canada, then globally. With our user-friendly interface, organizations such as YMCA or even high schools can easily tailor their platform to suit their needs and those of their unique target market.
In a time when more than ever, every penny counts, Options Online is just getting started. As our platform grows, we will not only empower more youth to make informed, responsible financial choices, but we will allow them to sustain a life that empowers others.
It is now time for the question and answer period. Judges, please submit your questions through the chat function at the bottom of your screen. Click on chat and use the drop-down to ensure you're sending your questions directly to me, moderator Amy Kenyon. And while the questions start coming in, I'm going to have each student say their school name to make sure their audio is working properly. Irvi?
St. Mary's University.
Thank you. Adam?
St. Mary's University.
Perfect. Thank you. I'll ask the first question and start the timer. So the first question comes from Adam. Sorry, I'm just going to start that timer again. The first question comes from Adam. Are there any specific insights you saw from the implementation of gamification that were surprising or interesting to the team?
So currently, the gamification aspect of the program is it's still very brand new. So the first thing we've discovered is that a lot of the students have actually enjoyed it. And so as they reach the leaderboard, we're planning to actually give them some non-monetary rewards. So this could be scholarships towards learning different programs, going to maybe like Skillshare as well, so that they can even enjoy more of the gamification aspects.
Fantastic. Next question comes from Dean. You mentioned essential topics. How did you determine which topics were essential for your interactive learning platform?
So this is a program that works with youth at risk, and we realize that there are many risks associated. So one of them being like financial literacy, just because we do know that this risk, this youth might not have potential access to maybe housing or fooding. So we provide them monetary funds and help them build their skills in terms of financial literacy of budgeting, cash flows and all, but also we need to teach them how to make their resumes, cover letter, so everything that helps them become an individual of their own and succeed in the industry of work and life is considered essential for us.
Fantastic. Another question from Adam. Can you speak to how you were able to secure so many partnerships for options online? The list of partners is excellent.
Yes, so we've been for the past few years, Options Youth we've been working very closely with the Entrepreneurship Center. So working with the Entrepreneurship Center, we're able to get our contract with Service Canada, and the other HSBC, RBC were through competitions that we competed in using the Options online platform.
Great. Next question from Dean. You have an impressive amount of funding from Service Canada. Is that how you are funding the 20-week paid work term and stipend?
So that is how we are funding our platform right now, based on the funding that we get, and it is a model that gives us $2,600,000 per year. So based on that, right now we give money to our participants at the end of the work term, and in the future it's going to be a platform where we're going to rent it out and then have people potentially buy it and customize it as per their need and use.
Great. And next question from Azzy. What are the sources or materials of the information you're using for online training?
Yes, so currently these courses are being created by people who have had past experience educating the youth. So a lot of it is research-based. So we have MBA graduates who actually vet everything that we put onto the website. In addition to that, our partnership with HSBC gave us a financial advisor as well, someone who's worked in the bank. So they've been able to go through all these financial literacy modules and make sure that everything is up to date, concise, and it's helpful for the youth too.
Your time has expired. Judges, please join me in congratulating St. Mary's University. Judges, we now have a scheduled break. Please ensure you're back at your screens by no later than 2:10 p.m. when we'll begin the last 3 presentations. Students, you may now leave the meeting. Please join me in welcoming the Enactus team from the University of Ottawa. Please open their report from the link in your email, which we also just shared in the chat, and scroll to their green sheet in your judge handbook. Judges, you will now have 3 minutes to review the report. Judges, please turn your attention to the screen as we play the video.
According to a study by PwC, less than 1 out of 4 youth have basic financial literacy, leaving them without the skills needed to attain financial success. This problem is worsened for at-risk youth, who face unemployment rates twice as high as the national average. At Enactus U Ottawa, we understand the importance of equipping the next generation with fundamental financial literacy skills. Today, we'll be sharing the story of how we use entrepreneurial leadership to empower the youth in our community to better manage their finances. With escalating post-secondary tuition fees and the soaring cost of living, youth are at an even greater risk of making uninformed financial decisions. According to a recent study by MNP, 57% of graduating post-secondary students don't know how long it takes to pay back their loans or when interest fees start accumulating. In conducting our needs assessment, we discovered this lack of knowledge traces back to high school. An absence of open discussion on financial literacy has left 62% of students with inadequate financial education. Our team saw an opportunity to fill the gap between the lack of classroom learning and the practical skills that these youth need for the real world.
Our solution is Project Fly, a developmental workshop series that empowers youth to take control of their financial future. Project Fly teams up with schools and established community organizations such as the William E. Hay Center for At-Risk Youth. We deliver workshops on a weekly basis so that we can foster a lasting relationship with our participants. Youth learn to open up a bank account, manage credit debt, and create personal budgets for their transition into adulthood. This year, we pivoted our curriculum to be delivered fully virtually.
We knew the challenges of online learning, so we redesigned our workshop to include more conversation-based activities.
Through these active and engaging conversations, we're ensuring that every youth we teach truly understand each topic. We built strong relationships with 12 schools and are connecting with youth every week to ensure they're meeting their long-term financial education needs.
Our team realized that youth can use financial education as not only a money saver, but also a money generator through the power of entrepreneurship. As a capstone to our Project Fly curriculum, we created Perfect Pitch, a full-day competition where students get hands-on financial education and entrepreneurship training by teaming up to create their own businesses. By participating in Perfect Pitch, the youth are encouraged to apply the knowledge they learn from our workshops and transfer it into entrepreneurial action. We engage the participants to design their business model, create a budget, and help them prepare a business pitch. At the end of the day, these young entrepreneurs will pitch their ideas and financial plan, and have a chance to win microfunding to turn their ideas into reality. Through Project Fly and Perfect Pitch, we're giving youth the skills they need to succeed. This year, we designed Perfect Pitch to run fully virtually, and welcomed 129 students to the 2021 edition just a few weeks ago.
But our team knew that we couldn't stop there. This year, we continued our partnership with the youth at the William E. Hay Youth Detention Center, delivering our workshops and providing much-needed support specifically tailored to young males in the criminal justice system. We work with small groups of youth at the detention center and walk them through goal planning and career development workshops.
Through our program, this group of 10 at-risk youth gained the skills and knowledge necessary to have a successful future outside of the center.
Additionally, we saw that individuals with disabilities face unemployment rates 6 times higher than the national average. Our team knew this group was in desperate need of financial education and job experience. Through another one of our Enactus projects, Shine Eyewear, our team provides meaningful employment and financial education opportunities to individuals with disabilities. By partnering with Lanark Community Programs, we've provided sustainable employment for 9 youth with a disability. We work with our youth to help them manage their paychecks and set personal finance goals. This year, through Project Fly, we've impacted over 270 youth and are working with schools across Ontario to give students the financial literacy skills that they need to succeed, turning that into meaningful employment for 9 individuals facing barriers in our community.
Our project bridges the gap between what the youth are learning in class and what they need to be learning to lead a successful, financially stable life. And this is what can be accomplished when students come together and use their knowledge of sustainable business to create something bigger than all of us. Our team of 80 students have helped youth explore more, learn more, and do more. This is Project Fly, and we are at Enactus U Ottawa.
It is now time for the question and answer period. Judges, please submit your questions through the chat function at the bottom of your screen. Click on chat and use the drop down to ensure you're sending your questions directly to me, moderator Amy Kenyon. And while the questions start coming in, I'm going to have each student say their school name to make sure their audio is working properly. Farah, would you like to start?
University of Ottawa.
Thank you. Carter?
University of Ottawa.
Thank you. Gavin?
University of Ottawa.
Perfect. I'm going to read the first question and then start the timer. So the first question comes from Azzy. Are the attendees provided with assignment to practice with their parents and guardians?
Yes. So through this year, as we've been pushed to the virtual setting, we've worked to develop our curriculum in a way that can be administered to students through either just conversations, like we said in our presentation, or through paper copies of each kind of like exercise that they can do.
Fantastic. The next question comes from Adam. Do you have a plan to follow up with the at-risk youth to measure the long-term impact of Project Fly?
Yes, so to us, long-term impact is working with the same students consistently and engaging with them in more workshops, as well as our flagship event, Perfect Pitch. And then keeping in touch with them over a long period of time and seeing them grow over time is really how we ensure that long-term impact. And then we continue to receive interest from the same teachers year after year, who either want us to deliver more workshops to the same group of students or deliver the same workshops to a new group of students, which is a good indication that our students have found something valuable in the workshops and then are able to benefit from it for a long period of time. Then we keep in touch with them over a longer course of time as well.
Great. Azzy and Anne are asking a similar question here. Who is hosting the sessions and how are you preparing the material and topics?
Absolutely. So we host the sessions with our Enactus team. So our Project Fly team is approximately 12 students, and we have a workshop facilitators team that hosts the sessions. And then we also prepare the curriculum as well. However, it's good to know that our curriculum is something that we've reiterated and have taken the feedback from teachers over a longer period of time. Project Fly has been running for 10 years. So we have 10 years worth of experience of developing this curriculum and modifying it as we receive feedback from teachers in schools, as well as the Teachers College at the University of Ottawa.
Great. And a follow-up question from Anne. How are you able to fund the project and are you able to earn revenue?
For sure. So our project is largely funded through grants, both from Enactus Canada and from our school. We don't currently have plans to generate revenue through Project Fly. However, it is something that we may look into in the future. But our main goal with the project is to provide these financial education opportunities to youth, no matter what situation they're in, which is why we don't like to charge for them.
Right. Adam is asking, was this the winning idea or pitch at Perfect Pitch? Don't know if you know what that is.
That's a great question. I can't see the name of the business off the top of my head. We did have about, I would say, 30 teams or so presenting. So a lot of super great ideas and a lot of youth that were super engaged as well.
Amazing. Azzy is asking about the workshops again. She's saying, can you provide the titles of the subjects?
Yeah. Absolutely. Go ahead, Gavin.
So we have two pillars that we separate our projects into. We separate them based on financial literacy and career/skill development. So one of my favorite projects is Making It Rain, which we go over like our budgeting and like how to set up a bank account kind of a thing.
Your time has expired. Judges, please join me in congratulating the University of Ottawa. Judges, we have a couple of minutes as we bring in the next team. Please use this time to complete your green sheet and we'll get started momentarily. Students, you may now leave the meeting. Please join me in welcoming the Enactus team from the University of Calgary. Please open their report from the link in your email, which we also just shared in the chat, and scroll to their green sheet in your judge handbook. Judges, you will now have 3 minutes to review the report. Judges, please turn your attention to the screen as we play the video.
We live in a society full of diversity. There are countless groups within our society that have diverse needs. However, they are often left out of the conversation surrounding financial literacy, which takes away their hope and chance of endless possibilities.
This includes youth with disabilities, as programs do not accommodate their unique and diverse learning abilities. This leaves them vulnerable and prevents them from becoming financially independent in the future. In Canada, individuals with a disability report experiencing financial abuse up to 12% more than individuals without a disability. Financial abuse can come in different forms. One example is going to the grocery store and being given the wrong amount of change, but not being able to recognize this problem. Without financial literacy knowledge, these students cannot identify such problems.
At Enactus UFC, we recognize there is a lack of financial literacy designed to give these youth the skills to navigate their financial journeys. Therefore, we took on the challenge of developing an interactive program that teaches financial literacy in a way that accommodates the diverse needs of youth with disabilities. They deserve to feel empowered by the endless possibilities that this knowledge can provide.
I'm Isha, and with me today is Rama, and in 2017, Enactus U Calgary launched Possibility, an innovative and research-based curriculum designed specifically to teach students with cognitive and learning disabilities. Our curriculum is based on the fundamental question of, what does being an independent adult look like?
We focus on the PACE Learning Program students, PLP for short, with our current school being Ernest Manning High School. This is because these students specifically have been identified with mild cognitive disabilities and need more help becoming financially independent.
Currently, Possibility is driven by a team of 2 project directors and 4 delegates who are passionate and dedicated to helping 15 PLP youth see a future where they won't be held back from opportunities due to the lack of a financial education. We have proudly created a curriculum composed of versatile activities designed to adapt to each diverse need.
This year, in response to the global pandemic, our team promptly transferred over our curriculum to the open educational resource Failing Forward to effectively facilitate remote learning.
Instead of having Enactus members going into the classroom, we provided pre-recorded videos, interactive online activities, and quizzes that PLP teachers themselves can use to deliver the program. Possibility is a 3-part curriculum taught in 5 sessions to empower students towards financial independence. Students are exposed to approximately 15 financial literacy concepts over 5 hours, and as a result are better able to think critically and make informed decisions.
In the first section, we set the foundational understanding of bills and banking. Students learn to distinguish between different types of money sources, understand rent, and learn how to interact at a bank. We help students navigate questionable scenarios like email scams or revealing sensitive bank information. Our goal is to help students become familiar with appropriate financial boundaries that resonate with their needs. When students develop a sense of financial safety, they reduce their chance of being financially abused.
In the second section, students learn the purpose of budgeting. By differentiating between needs and wants, as well as introducing students to savings accounts like a TFSA, we help them understand how to budget their next paycheck or birthday money for expenses like rent, bills, and groceries. This section helps to increase their financial independence as they won't have to rely on a caregiver for budgeting their finances.
The last section covers how students can turn their interests into a career. We explore resume building, interview etiquette, and personal boundaries that these youth are often unfamiliar with. This equips our students to experience an appropriate interview process and give them the tools to be aware of financial abuse situations that limit their endless possibilities. We also added a session dedicated to address the rise of video meeting softwares like Zoom and created resources to help navigate the do's and don'ts of virtual interviews.
Over the next year, we are hoping to increase our impact within the Calgary community and leverage our virtual environment to reach even more students. We are hoping to scale into 5 more PLP classrooms, helping 80 more students, and our aim is to have at least 50% of those students successfully find and apply to jobs or post-secondary education.
Everyone deserves access to financial education. When students finish going through the Possibility program, we hope that their eyes are open to the endless possibilities that this world has to offer.
It is now time for the question and answer period. Judges, please submit your questions through the chat function at the bottom of your screen. Click on chat and use the drop down to ensure you send your questions directly to me, moderator Amy Kenyon. And while the questions start coming in, I'm going to have each student say their name to make sure their audio is working properly. Danielle?
University of Calgary.
Thank you. And Darylyn?
University of Calgary.
Perfect. I'm going to ask the first question and I'll start the timer directly after. The first question comes from Dean. Did you encounter any barriers from the education system when you were first looking to deliver your program to Access and PLP classrooms?
Yeah, I think the biggest barrier that we encountered was that there was no set standard curriculum when we started this a few years ago. So the biggest challenges is we literally had to design something from the ground up and really work with the teachers to build a curriculum that works with their students.
Great. Next question comes from Adam. Did you seek out any outside expertise when you were creating the curriculum for Possibility?
With creating the curriculum, we mostly worked with the teachers because we found that they were the best people to know what their students need. And also Possibility years ago was created by our original project director, was a community rehab and disability student at the University of Calgary, and she also used this as part of her practicum research.
Great. A follow-up question from Dean about Access and PLP classrooms. Do you have any data from these students and how they have built upon their learnings over time?
Currently, we're trying to build out that framework. The biggest barrier that we have encountered with that is just that parents, rightfully so, are very protective over their children's information. But this year we started to introduce and quizzes to kind of test the results throughout the sessions, and that data should be coming in here within the next few weeks for us.
And that might answer the next question a little. Lacey asked, do you issue surveys or evaluations to ensure you're providing relevant information for the diverse needs and to ensure participants are fully engaged in an online environment?
Yes, we do. We do one at the start and one at the end to measure. The first one's to measure their understanding, and we do a very similar one at the very end to see and compare the difference.
Great. And the next one's from Anne. Do you find it difficult for youth with disabilities to complete 1-hour courses at a time on a computer screen?
That's the beauty of doing it online now. When we did it in person, we didn't encounter any issues because that's their normal one class time block, and it was very broken up into different things. But now the teachers don't have to do it exactly in 1 hour. There's different parts where they can start and stop, so they can do one activity for a little bit and then come back to the quiz later. So it's very up to the teachers and up to the classroom, which is awesome.
Great. Dean asks, do you have a wait list of those looking to facilitate or help deliver the curriculum, especially if you're wanting to expand 5-fold over the next year?
We currently don't have a wait list because we were currently in the testing period for our online platform. Now that our online platform is kind of being developed and it's really, really close to being completely ready to go, we're going to be expanding and reaching out to all of those different schools and teachers within the Calgary and surrounding areas.
That's perfect. And your time has expired. Judges, please join me in congratulating the University of Calgary. Judges, we have a couple of minutes as we bring the next team in. Please use this time to complete your green sheet and we'll get started momentarily. Students, you may now leave the meeting. Please join me in welcoming the Enactus team from St. Clair College. Please open their report from the link in your email, which we also just shared in the chat, and scroll to their green sheet in your judge handbook. Judges, you will now have 3 minutes to review the report. Judges, please turn your attention to the screen as we play the video.
In 2020, Canadian unemployment rates reached an all-time high, all while the cost of living continued to climb. Today's economy is drastically changing, and it is harder now more than ever for students to find employment after graduation, with many existing resources seeming out of reach.
Introducing Interact, an online platform that provides students with the skills and resources to achieve financial stability. Through our curriculum, students learn valuable employment and financial knowledge, giving them real-world experience and lasting connections. When we originally delivered our modules, they were in person and directed toward international students. But we knew that all students could benefit from our tools and information. So this year, we partnered with our mobile app development program and created a free application that educates students on employment and financial literacy.
Once installed, students have access to our employment modules, delivered through a combination of videos and activities, such as resume building and professional development. Through the app, students can schedule mock interviews conducted by our team and industry professionals. Our second module is focused on financial literacy in partnership with Libro Credit Union. Students have access to multiple workbooks and calculators on topics such as budgeting, investment, and credit management. By combining these sections, students will have more success in investing in their own skills. Through our exit surveys, we discovered that 100% of students felt more confident in their ability to find employment, and of those students, 30% found jobs. We also discovered that 53% of students' net worth increased through increased savings or reduced debt.
Interact's financial resources that I provide to you are also very helpful in terms of managing your money, and I can now track my money and how much I've spent in a month and how well my budget has turned out. It's a great resource.
When asked for suggested topics in our exit surveys, students emphasized a need for an easily accessible housing feature.
And we agreed. We are happy to announce our latest partnership, a local Century 21 brokerage. With their help, we have integrated an additional tool that will allow students to search all available listings in our area. The Interact application also functions as a personal planner, where students can add tasks, manage goals, and sync events with our campus calendar. We also partnered with our Alumni Association to host exclusive employment and networking opportunities for both past and present students.
Interact was the recipient of 2 grants totaling $7,500 through RBC and Libro Credit Union. From that initial investment, we have created an ad-based revenue model where maintenance will be conducted by an ongoing team of mobile app development students.
But we knew we could do more. And so, through our partnership with Community Living Essex County, we took those same modules and adapted them to the needs of our community integration through cooperative education program at St. Clair College. This led to the creation of Endure, a mentorship program tailored to individuals with developmental disabilities to encourage independence and apply focused skills towards their fulfilled livelihoods. We conducted surveys and focus groups with the entire CICE program aimed at revealing students' prior knowledge. We also hosted several industry professionals to speak on topics such as self-advocacy and household management.
I pretty much begged my parents to teach me how to do online banking to pay off my visa, how to do e-transfers. So I have to get somebody just to reassure me, oh yeah, that's right, and then I'll send it. But overall, I've been doing it for a few months, and it's like I feel like I'm growing up. Like I'm now an adult. I'm no longer this little girl. It's like I'm 25 years old.
With the help of the Unilever Recognizing Abilities Accelerator, we received $2,500 to continue eliminating barriers for students with disabilities and enable their full participation in society. Through these two projects, our Interact curriculum has the potential to scale to more educational institutions and beyond.
This year, we launched our own application available on iOS and Android devices.
Collaborated across 6 campus departments.
Partnered with 7 community organizations.
Educated 275 students on financial literacy.
And generated a combined $10,000 in funding.
By combining technology with financial literacy, we at Enactus St. Clair believe that our student success is right at their fingertips.
It is now time for the question and answer period. Judges, please submit your questions through the chat function at the bottom of your screen. Click on chat and use the drop down to ensure you are sending your questions directly to me, moderator Amy Kenyon. And while the questions start coming in, I'm going to have each of the students say their school name to make sure their audio is working properly. Avery, do you want to start us off?
St. Clair College.
Perfect. Caitlin?
St. Clair College.
Thank you. And Hallie?
St. Clair College.
Perfect. I'm going to start asking the questions and I'll start the timer at the end of the first question. The first question comes from Adam. What specifically did you use the funds from Unilever for?
We currently haven't used any of the funds for the Unilever Accelerator. Our plan is to use them this summer to create more modules expanding on pre-employment and financial literacy for the upcoming students.
Great. The next question comes from Azzy. Given that there are 2 projects, of the 275 educated people, please segregate how many per project.
51 of those students were with Endured for the community integration through cooperative education program.
Great. And Dean asks, you mentioned an ad-based revenue model. Are you generating revenue outside of the grants you have received?
Yes. So in regard to that question, we are using ad-generated funds, and this goes hand in hand with the lead of loans. Or grants, sorry. With the grants, what we've been doing is using that to publish the apps, and therefore with the result of that, we have been using ad-generated funds so we can continue to grow our project.
Great. Just waiting for some more questions to come through from the judges. Okay, a question here from Lacey. What are some unique ways you're engaging participants throughout Zoom fatigue, online burnout, and mental health challenges?
So through Zoom platforms, mental health calendars, and other specified online resources, we have been engaging students through online mock interviews. At first, this was strictly international students, but we exposed this to the whole entire St. Clair College base. Doing this, we got to learn with them one-on-one their interview skills, their resume skills, and prepare them for the workforce. As per Endure, we really wanted the students to feel that they had a say in what they were learning regarding financial literacy and pre-employment. So we hosted mock interviews as well as the modules, and we also did focus groups where the students had a say in what they wanted to talk about, and they had really emphasized that they enjoyed that because they got to communicate with their other students as well as other post-secondary students.
Great. A question from Anne. What is your future plans to scale the business and increase exposure?
For Interact, the plan to scale this project is through our second campus. And then we are looking into integrating other schools because these are skills and resources that aren't always learned in the classroom that all students can excel with. As per Endure,
As for Endure, we already have connections with Community Living Essex County, and they have said that they would like us to put our modules and our pre-employment skills into their pre-employment sector. They do plan on bringing that provincially and nationally once we are able to do that through a website that we are working on.
Great. And a follow-up question from Anne. How many app downloads do you have?
As of now, we have 50 app downloads.
Your
Otherwise,
time has expired. Judges, please join me in congratulating St. Clair College. Students, you may now leave the meeting.